Tourists started arriving for their coach tours before the sun had risen in Te Anau. Among them was Alan Banks. He and his wife have been trying to visit Milford Sound for years.
We were here 20 years ago and there was a slip then and they'd closed the road, so we did Doubtful Sound that time. So we were really looking forward to doing Milford Sound this time, and then when we heard there'd been the big storm and the roads had washed out, we thought we're going to be very lucky to get in there. Just so happened that yesterday's was cancelled. We thought, oh, that's our luck again, and then just checked on the one for today and they said, yep, you've got the last 2 seats, so we took them.
Sridevi thought she had missed out after travelling all the way from America and finding her Thursday booking was cancelled.
Oh, I was very disappointed because we have come from a long way. But then I was happy to see that February 21st is the first day it opens before we leave. We are heading back to USA tomorrow. I said, okay, we are turned out to be very lucky that we get to see Milford Sound before we leave New Zealand.
Southern Discovery's coach driver Rhys Hay has been driving Milford Road for the past 25 years, but he's never seen the road like this before.
One year in particular, what they call in Powerhouse Hill, you're right beside the river where you'd never see the river before, so it's taken all the trees out, everything like that. There's washouts under roads, there's a lot of gravel sections where they're repairing the road. So yeah, basically 25 years it's a different road.
Fortune was smiling on Christchurch resident Margaret when she picked today's date back in November for her trip.
We're doing a South Island tour for 2 weeks and it's just luck because we could have been coming yesterday and missed out by 1 day, but very lucky that we're coming today. And normally we have driven in the past, but I decided this time that we would go by bus so that nobody had to drive.
Belts buckled and engines on, Real Journey's coach driver Phil welcomed passengers.
This is the first time that we've been allowed back in. So it won't be like it normally is regarding traffic. We won't have the oncoming stuff and the passing stuff doing crazy things like we often get, but it's going to be much more regulated and we're not too sure just exactly how it's going to go today.
The start of the convoy is about an hour's drive out of Te Anau, but the closer we got, the more it started to rain. I'm at Cascade Creek at the start of the convoy. There's about 35 to 40 vehicles that are already lined up, ready to go, but it started raining quite heavily and there has been some concerns about whether the convoy will be able to go ahead on time. There's been a front that's moved over through the morning, but there's still a lot of rain behind that is still hitting. But after weeks of hard roadworks and long hours, Milford Road Alliance manager Kevin Thompson watched 40 coaches snake through the forest towards Milford Sound on time.
It's good news and I'm really pleased for the people on board. You know, they're on their way to Milford and that's number one.
And Rhys Hay says the destruction will be an interesting sight for those on the buses.
They're going to notice the destruction, but they won't notice the differences because most of them, I guess, would have never been here before. But it's a beautiful drive, and even there's beauty in the slips and where the rivers have changed course and everything like that. So it's going to be a fabulous drive for the visitors. They're going to love it.
Broken trees stick out of landslips and rubble has been pushed to the roadside. But Kevin Thompson says it's what the visitors can't see that will cause the most headaches for work crews.
What you can't see is our next big challenge. It is those things that are down away from the road or under the road, you know, bridges, culverts, walls. Those things are significant pieces of work to repair or replace, and they affect travel. So it's a balancing act of trying to do those works and retain access, and that burns up time.
Standing on the edge of the road, Kevin Thompson checks a damaged wall of Gambian baskets. They're rock-filled mesh rectangles that create a barrier between the road and the river. The river swept over them, creating a washing machine-like effect that ate through material and caused the wall to fail.
See, the river now is 3 or 4 times wider than it used to be, and the water has moved over. You can see in the trees where it was. So now we're going to have to try and rebuild this wall, and it's eating into the live lane. You can see into the road there. So we've got to juggle traffic plus building the wall plus the river and the weather.
But now at least tourists can get in and out of the area. The bus convoys are expected to run again tomorrow. In Te Anau for Checkpoint, Tess Brunton, TNA.